It's that time again, Christmas is fast approaching and you're looking for the best cheap RC cars in 2023. Throughout the year I've tested some epic new cheap RC cars and I think I've come up with 5 amazing choices which would be ideal to buy for yourself or to buy for someone else as a present. Now I know most people want something that is cheap, fast and durable, and pretty much every car on this top 5 list ticks all of those boxes. At the number 5 spot we have the amazing Hiboxing or HBX 2996A. This is a 1/10 scale brushless ready to run monster truck which is not only durable but it's also quick out the box, and in my opinion it's one of the best looking trucks on this list. Now you may have heard me mention 1/10 scale there. Well, it's actually not 1/10 scale, it's probably closer to 1/12 scale. Here's a comparison against my team associated rival MT10, which is a fairly small truck itself, and as you can see it's quite a bit smaller. But don't worry, this doesn't make it a bad truck at all, and compared to all the other cars I will be mentioning on today's list, this is easily the most capable off-road due to the higher ground clearance and of course those bigger wheels. So how much does this truck actually cost? Well, it comes in at £146 or $178, which is a bit more than some may be willing to pay, but I do think the extra cost is worth it. You get very reliable electronics right out the box. We've got oil-filled shocks, lots of other metal components including drive shafts and diffs, and this truck also features something a lot of other trucks at this price point don't include, and that is a centre diff. Having a centre diff makes this truck handle like a dream, and it's definitely noticeable when you're out bashing. So far this sounds like a fantastic option, but then there is one thing that stops this truck from being higher up on this list, and that is the tiny little battery tray. I did manage a good 10 minutes of runtime on the included 1600 mAh battery, but I would have loved to have had a slightly different chassis design which would allow for a bigger pack to be fitted, as I'm one of those people who does prefer to run larger capacity packs instead of carrying around lots of smaller packs. So how fast does this truck go right out the box? Well, I managed to achieve a speed of 31 miles per hour on road with the included battery, which isn't a bad speed at all. So overall it's not a bad truck at all, and it's ideal for someone who's looking for something larger which they can use off-road or on grass and maybe occasionally on road. And the good thing about this is it's already got loads of metal bits pre-fitted and a decent brushless power system. So not too bad, but I definitely think there's some better options further up on this list. Moving on, let's take a look at number 4, and it has to be the WL Toys 124008 and the 124010. Yes, that's right, both of these buggies share the number 4 spot because essentially they are identical apart from their power systems. WL Toys have had a rough couple of years, but they have released some pretty cool and interesting cars in 2023. While they may not be as popular these days, WL Toys are still highly respected in the cheap RC world, and these two buggies are very good for the money. When you look at both of these buggies, you certainly notice elements of MJX and Rolalo in their designs, and that is a good thing. So let's talk about what makes these buggies different, and then we'll talk about performance. The biggest difference between the two is their power systems. The 124008 is brushless and the 124010 is brushed. If speed is what you're looking for, then the 124008 has you covered. It will easily hit 37 miles per hour out the box on a 3S battery, which isn't as fast as some of the cars further up on this list, but it's still more than enough for most people. The brushed 124010 is a bit slower, only achieving a speed of 31 miles per hour, but that is on the included battery, which is actually very good, and in comparison the brushless with the same battery only managed a speed of 25 miles per hour. The one thing I don't like about these buggies is the included battery. I understand WL Toys were trying to make it easier for a beginner, but I don't like this and I would have preferred to have seen a normal pack. And the good news is you can actually release the Dean's connector, which is tied down when you get these cars out of the box, and you will be able to fit your own battery packs. Now right out the box, both of these buggies come with oil-filled adjustable shocks. We've got metal drive shafts, a metal centre drive shaft, we've even got a metal front bumper. Quality wise, they're actually not too bad considering they're a WL Toys. So let's take a look at the current prices then. Now the 124008 brushless is currently £103 or $126, and the 124010 brushed is £82 or $100. Now the brushless is slightly more, and if you think you may want to run 3S, then that is the best option to go for. But if you're not bothered by that and you're happy to run a 2S, go for the brushed 124010, which will be more than enough out the box. But just remember, if you plan on upgrading, it will be more difficult with the brushed version, as that does feature a slightly old school 2-in-1 ESC and receiver and a 5-wire servo. The brushless version has standalone electronics components, making upgrading for even more speed and power extremely easy. Whichever you do go for, both are a great option, and they're also highly capable. Now this is where things are starting to get a bit more exciting as we move up to the number 3 spot. Again, this place is shared by 2 cheap RC cars, which are pretty much exactly the same, apart from different body shells. Here we have the MJX Hypergo 14301 Mini Infraction lookalike and the 14302 Mini Lancia Delta inspired RC cars. These little cars feature great build quality, excellent top speeds out the box on 2S and 3S, and the Mini Infraction lookalike is one of the most fun RC cars I've featured on my channel all year. Everything required to get you up and running is included in the box, including 3 sets of tyres. The brushless system on these is epic, and you even get an adjustable gyro, which does help to keep everything nice and stable at speed. I managed to reach a speed of 40 miles per hour on 3S, which is insane speed for such a small chassis. These cars come with oil-filled shocks, metal components throughout, and even a metal chassis brace. So why do these deserve the number 3 spot? Well, that's easy, they're incredibly fun. Now I'm a huge fan of my Armour Infraction 3S, but I actually had just as much fun with these smaller cars, and the best part is they cost less than half the cost of the Infraction. Now that is pretty epic. You can pick both of these up for around £99 or $120, which is great value considering how much you're getting. At the number 2 spot, we have the Relalo AMD 12 Desert Buggy. This is an incredible little machine from the guys at Relalo, who are creating some seriously impressive RC cars lately, and this one is the fastest RC car on this top 5 list. Even though Relalo clearly got some of their inspiration from the Losi Laser Nut, which is already a great looking desert buggy, I think they've done a great job with this one, especially on the styling, and it has to be one of the best looking trucks I've had on my channel all year. But we have to remember there's more to an RC car than looks alone. It all comes down to the overall performance, and this thing certainly performs. It was insane on 3S, and I managed to achieve a speed of 53 miles per hour, although I did struggle to keep the front wheels down. This thing is an absolute wheelie monster. Off-road performance was great, the tyres seemed to grip really well, and it had great handling on the loose dirt. The LED lights look really cool, and it was even popping those wheelies off-road. The quality of components used on this is definitely noticeable. Compared to the other cars mentioned on this list so far, the AMD 12 definitely feels slightly more premium, and this does mean it's also the most expensive RC car on this list. This thing costs $199 or £163, so it may not be as cheap as expected, but considering how well it performs, how good it looks, and how fast it actually is, I think this cost can be justified. Relalo's customer service is also very good, and even though there were a lot of issues with the AK917's release, a lot of those problems have now been solved, and Relalo have been improving every month. Spares and upgrades are readily available on the Relalo website, and most items that are in stock can be to your door within 7 to 14 days. I think we will be seeing some great stuff from these guys in the coming years, and their most recent release, the AK787, has already turned out to be a great success. If you're looking for a fast, well-built all-rounder that also looks super cool with quality components, then the AMD 12 is going to be the one for you. Finally, let's take a look at the number 1 cheap RC car for Christmas 2023. And here we have the MJX Hypergo 1/14 scale Mini Truggy and Mini Rock Racer. Just like some of the previous cars, both of these are identical, just with different body shell options and tyres. These are two great new additions to the MJX lineup, with even better electronics, and being slightly larger, they're also incredibly capable both on-road and off-road. Everything required to get you up and running is included in the box, including a 3000 mAh 2S battery, which does provide excellent runtime. Both of these cars are covered in metal components, including oil-filled adjustable shocks, very thick, high-quality drive shafts, and even a metal chassis brace. The electronics on both of these have been upgraded, and these trucks are now running a larger brushless motor, which provides even more power. Now, even though these trucks are not as quick as the previous AMD 12, the Truggy version still managed to achieve a speed of 47 miles per hour on 3S, whilst being even more capable off-road compared to the Rolalo Desert Buggy. Now, when I tested this Truggy out, I actually ran it alongside a couple of Armours and a Hebeo Buggy, and it managed to keep up with these bigger, more expensive models. The Rock Racer, whilst not as quick on 3S, only reaching a speed of 40 miles per hour due to its smaller diameter tyres, is still incredibly good, but I do prefer the Truggy. Now, when I showed the Truggy version to a couple of my friends who are Armour fanboys through and through, even they could appreciate how cool it actually was. Simon, you're an Armour fanboy, mate. What do you make of that?
I think it's really cool. It's quite impressive.
It does look a lot like yours, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, the main reason both of these are at the #1 spot and not the AMD 12 is because they do offer pretty much exactly the same performance out the box, but there's one major difference, and that is the price. Both of these are a lot cheaper than the Rolalo. The Truggy version currently costs £125 or $152, and the Rock Racer is £135 or $164, which is considerably cheaper than the Rolalo AMD 12 for very similar performance. Now, the good news is spares are now available everywhere, and these cars are super tough and durable, and their performance out the box is great. So there we have it. I have placed the MJX Mini Truggy and Rock Racer at the #1 spot, which I think is well deserved. Let me know what you think of my top 5 cheap RC cars list for 2023 in the comments section below, and if you disagree with any of my choices, again, let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you've got notifications turned on as well, so that whenever I post a new video, you'll be told. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care. If you enjoyed today's video, then why not check out my top 10 cheap RC cars for 2023 by clicking on the top video, or click on the bottom video to cheap and new RC cars in 2023.